Hi, I'm Dave Gardy here for Cybersecurity TV and Squirrel Compliancy Solutions TV on the floor of AFCEA TechNet Cyber in Baltimore. With me is Mr. Rich Taylor, who's a sales engineer with Squirrel. Rich, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave.
Before we begin, can you just give us an overview of your background?
Yeah, so I'm the SE for the Squirrel Compliancy team, serving Dave Lundgren, my boss, and Fernando Del Reyes, our Army account exec, where I was brought over from the CS side of the house, where I provided STIG support, automation, helped our customers prepare for their core CCRI inspections. And even prior to that, I worked at Cisco, where I did a lot of automation work with the UCS suites, UCS Manager, Director, ACI, and even NSO.
Give us an overview of the Defender rules that are within the Squirrel Defender platform.
Yeah, we build it as the curated STIG experience. So Defender is shipped with system rules that are maintained by our CS team to provide that automation against those layer 2 and layer 3 network infrastructure devices.
What does Squirrel Defender platform do to ease the process of rule development?
Well, it's really as simple as picking your favorite crayon color and coloring in the box. It's a simple drag and drop GUI palette where we eliminate the need for CLI or IDE developers, and we use simple Boolean logic to evaluate expressions to arrive at desired outcomes.
How is automation created through the logic builder in Squirrel platform?
So we have a command library that we primarily leverage for the STIG automation process, where we have certain commands that we use to define the output, evaluate, and perform that STIG analysis. But that's not locked down. Our customers are allowed to use that command library to create their own commands to automate anything that they need to automate from a network team perspective.
What skills is it key for users to have for rule development?
Simple yes-no Boolean logic is helpful. You don't really need a heavy programming background, so it's as simple as that.
I see. And what tools are available in the market for rule development?
Yeah, even when I was writing rules, or currently, I use regex 101 to perform, regex logic to make sure my logic is making sense. You have Stack Overflow, which is a great resource, and then of course our CS team is always able, willing, and extremely useful when it comes to writing those regular expressions.
What are some custom use cases that you've seen out in the field?
Well, specifically when working with a customer, they had a mandate to report those serial numbers for their devices in their environment. They had to log into every device individually, document it, and that was a very manual process. We wrote a very simple rule, maybe 2 or 3 logic blocks, and they are able to do that operation in a matter of under a minute to report all the serial numbers for their devices. We also have use cases where customers may need to update the host names for their devices and add a silly code for location ID. And we can even check devices for ACLs and allow our customers to push ACL remediation if they so desire to use the platform for remediation.
You just mentioned remediation. How does remediation work with the Squirrel Defender platform?
Yeah, so remediation is very important, and we take this very seriously. Just because we come across, say 300 findings, we don't say, hey, guess what? We fixed 300 things for you, right? We want our customers to go through that process, go to the cab, get the approval, get that change window, and then schedule Defender to go ahead and perform that remediation.
What about SDN, or software-defined network assets, with the Squirrel platform?
Yeah, that's something that's in flight now. We're working with those SDN controllers to manage those assets that are managed by a controller, right? Leveraging API communication. And within Defender, we can then set the precedence of, hey, reach out via SSH first, then API. So we allow the precedents to be defined within the rule logic to define which method to reach out to those devices. And those SDN assets or controllers, we're talking about, Cisco SD-WAN, Juniper Mist, FMC controllers, and things like that.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate the time you've taken. If people want to find out more about Squirrel Compliancy Solutions, where should they go on the web?
They should go to squirrelcompliancysolutions.com, or they can email info@squirrelcs.com.
I've been talking to Rich Taylor, who's a sales engineer with Squirrel CS, here at the floor of the AFCEA TechNet Cyber in Baltimore for another series program in the Squirrel Compliance Solution TV series. Thanks for joining us.